drive over to Starbucks. How can I help you today?
Can I get a, hold on, it's, a venti, peach green tea lemonade?
Yeah.
And that'll be all.
Sure. Okay, yeah, you can come on up. I'll get that up for you.
All right, thank you. I don't know why I had such a hard time ordering that.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. It's gonna be 514.
Here you go. Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
You too. Hi, sisters. My name is Harley Nouveau, and welcome back to another episode of Beauty and the Tea, this time with iced tea. Now, if you catch me looking at not the actual lens a ton this video, it's because I'm driving. Okay, guys, so in advance, I want to go ahead and apologize for how, I don't know, shoddily, weird, sloppily this video is going to be. I've been crazy busy all week long, and I have not had a chance to film this video normally. So you're going to have to hear me talk in the car today. I don't know what that's going to sound like. I'm probably not even going to be able to look at the camera for the most part. Again, if you wanted high production value and professionalism, you came to the wrong channel. And with that being said, let's get on to the program. As always, I have a couple different subjects to cover. First and foremost being personal side notes, and secondly being the actual tea that you came here to see. On a personal front, there's quite a bit going on, both positive and negative, that I wanted to talk about real quick. For the negatives, I have been dealing with a myriad of issues involving my father and his addiction that I don't really want to go into right now, but later on in another video you'll hear me talk about it because that's just the way things go. And because of that, it has been very stressful this past week. I've been very busy dealing with those issues, so I've been kind of neglecting some things. However, I did manage to film a first impressions video for March, which includes my Boxy Lux that I got, and then a couple of other products that I picked out, and I am in the process of editing that right now, so you will be able to look forward to that video coming in the coming days if you're someone that wants to see more of like the makeup videos from me. On a positive note, last night was the orientation for my new classes that I start up on Monday, and I had a lot of fun. I mean, there were some reservations going into it that maybe I was overhyping how much I was going to enjoy the whole process. And then there were also some reservations about what really it would entail. Orientation really quelled a lot of those fears that I had going into it. And I found out a lot of helpful information. I even got to get a free facial afterwards, which your girl's never had a facial before. So I was like loving it. And I found out some amazing things. For instance, when I'm going to school for the next 12 months, any type of cosmetic procedure that the school provides that I want to get done is free for me to get done on myself. So I'm going to be getting facials galore. I can get lash extensions if I want to. I can get my hair done, which everyone knows I need that, clearly. And yeah, I'm just overall really excited. I'll be able to take a lot more care of myself while also getting to learn. Probably should drive with both hands on the wheel, while also getting to learn knowledge that will be beneficial to me in my personal life and to my future career goals. I also got to have an in-depth discussion with a few of the students when there wasn't a teacher around, so I could really scope out the place without having to worry that the presence of authority would cause everyone to pull their punches. And most of the students were like, oh no, it's pretty amazing. The most you have to worry about is like sitting in the same room for an extended period of time. If that you're somebody that gets bored really easily by not seeing different environments, that'll be a problem. But as I'm sure you are aware, I currently live on a farm, so the lack of visual stimulation is not something I particularly have to worry about at the moment. I'm excited about that. I'm also excited that we get to do lash extension training. I just don't even know how to describe to you guys the amount of excitement and anticipation I have for this, because this is something I've always wanted to do that I always pushed off because I thought it was not an achievable goal and other things were expected of me, and I'm finally doing it, and I'm hoping that this will be my stepping stone to get up out of this place, move to Dallas, and live my best life with my best friend. And I am promising myself that I am going to see this through to the end. I'm not going to let anything stop me. Short of death, of course, because all of our lives are finite, with the exception of the eternal immortal John McClane, who is amazing. I don't want to say I'm overwhelmed. There's an aspect of me, because my life has been a series of unfortunate events, lemony snickets, and because of that, it seems like nothing really ever works out for me, and it's looking like this might actually be working out for me, so I just don't even know how to process it at the moment. So that's what's going on with me. I also get to experience my very first wedding this upcoming weekend. I get to be a +1 to a friend's wedding with my best friend Jasmine, and I'm super excited about that because I've always wanted to go to a wedding, and I'm probably gonna cry like an emotional wreck because that's never gonna be me walking down the aisle, and I just don't even... Anyway, so while there has been some negative, there's definitely been a lot of positive going on to outweigh that. I mean, who's to say what the future holds for me? Maybe that's not going to be the case, but I'm trying to be cautiously optimistic. If there's one thing I've learned through my short 25 years, is that you should always hope for the best and prepare for the worst. So that's where I'm at the moment. It's time to get into the actual tea, like how this camera angle is really unflattering on my double chin. Now that all that's out of the way, time to get into the actual tea that you came here to see. So as you probably guessed from the intro to this video, we are going to be talking about the lovely James Charles, specifically some drama that he's been involved in over this past week regarding greediness, ads on his YouTube channel, and editing his photos too much. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Harley, everybody knows that James Charles over-edits all of his photos. It's kind of his gig. To which I said, girl, you right. I mean, you right. You might also be wondering, like I was when you first heard about this, and since he does that, why is this a big deal? Well, I'll tell you why in a second, but let's start at the very beginning. A couple of days ago, James Charles uploaded a brand new video on his channel where he recreated, yet again, some of his fans' makeup looks. When he was doing this, when he uploaded this video, you could clearly see that it was between 25 and 30 minutes long, which it's not too bad, and I have no place to judge when it comes to that, because as you've seen on my channel, my videos range anywhere from 10 minutes to like 40 minutes long. So, yeah, I can relate. But what people were unhappy about was on this video, there were approximately 6 ads. As always, when you have your channel monetized, there's going to be an ad at the beginning of the video and an ad at the end of the video. And throughout the video, there were 4 more ads, which he tried to space in between each makeup look that he did and then the finale, because he tried to do 3 separate looks and then combine them or something like that. I don't know. I didn't watch it. I'm sorry. People were just gagged the house down because they saw it as nothing more than a money-hungry grab for more income, which I mean, I don't know what people were expecting. YouTube is literally James Charles' job, so of course he has to make money off of that. And when confronted about it on Twitter, he kind of had a meltdown of sorts. Did not handle it the best way, but I mean, he's relatively young, so it's kind of to be expected. Essentially, I don't know if I'll include the receipts here also because I don't know if I have the time, but he went on a tirade about the fact that people were coming for him for doing this, and it wasn't really even a big deal because if you watch a TV show on the television, a normal one, they are 30 minutes long, but in actuality it ends up being 22 minutes of programming and 8 minutes of ad now. I mean, he's not wrong. That's actually why I don't like watching TV anymore. Except for RuPaul's Drag Race, which you will learn is my favorite television show ever. So in his mind, he justified what he did because if you add up all 6 ads, it is only 4 minutes of ads, and most of them you can skip. So it's not like he's forcing you to sit there while a third of the video is nothing but commercials. Now, in response, people were arguing that a television show has a higher production value. It takes way more money, way more time, way more effort, and way more people than sitting down in front of a camera and recording yourself doing makeup. And as such, they kind of earn the right to advertise for 8 minutes versus 4 minutes because they put in more work and thus they need more money. James Charles went on to try to justify his behavior even more. People told him to just do less ads. He said no. He went on Snapchat or Instagram and ranted about people not respecting his craft or his artistry. And I have a few different feelings about this entire situation across the board. I do understand the point that a normal television show has 8 minutes of ads, so it's not unrealistic to have 4 minutes of ads on your 30-minute YouTube video. I also understand the point that it requires more income to make a television show, and thus they deserve the right to put more ads versus it not taking as much time to do a YouTube video. However, it takes me approximately a few days to shoot and edit a normal video that's not this one where I just talk shit. And that is one person, and my videos aren't nearly as dramatic and detailed and professional as James Charles' video. And when you do something like that, keep in mind, I went to school for painting and drawing. You want to get compensated for it if at all possible. You know, there are lots of us out there who are gifted with a talent, and you want to try to make money off that talent. But take what you're good at and monetize it is one of the best life advices that anyone can give you. And I understand his point that people are being disrespectful in a way by expecting him to do all this for free, essentially. Now, there's some other elements here that I kind of glossed over. James tried to justify the use of ads by saying YouTube takes a percentage off, which is true, but not nearly as high of a percentage as the actual YouTuber takes off of it. And as such, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to get off for work. And as such, that means that he was kind of misleading the point to say that these ads aren't really for his benefit, and they were. But regardless, I'm actually on James's side in this one. And I don't want to sound like I'm always setting a precedent where I follow the YouTuber's opinion on everything, because that's not always going to be the case. Essentially, the argument is like, well, I support your channel, so I should be able to watch whatever you put out without having to sit through anything to help you. I should get what I want the way that I want it without any type of catch. That's the word I was looking for. Without any catch. I love RuPaul's Drag Race. We know this. On the TV, I cannot fast forward through ads because I do not have that capability. But I watch the ads anyway, or I at least put them on freaking mute, because it is my favorite show, and I want to be able to watch my favorite show because I love it and I support the people that made it. I don't write angry letters to VH1 like, hey girl, you need to skip these ads because I'm just not having it. Because that would be ridiculous. Unfortunately, because YouTube does allow you to not place ads if you don't want to, people think that that means that they are entitled to ad-free videos. And if that's the case, be like me and a multitude of other people and pay to have the ads removed if you don't want to have them. $10 a month. Yes, people are struggling with bills way more than James Charles. However, I can tell you right now, I make maybe $1,000 a month if I'm lucky, and I can still afford a $10 a month subscription. Don't go to McDonald's once or twice. I don't know. Maybe I'm just ranting to myself. I'm not quite sure. That's my thoughts on that specific area of this video. I don't think James did anything wrong. I think 4 minutes of ads on a 30-minute video is completely okay, and it's his source of income, and I think people who are whining about it are just people who like to complain about everything. And I think that the people who are complaining about those ads are just being childish. I also think that James was childish in the way that he handled this entire ordeal, but that's another story. Now, on to the second part of this video. Recently on Instagram, and I don't know who originated this idea, there has been this popular makeup that has been like popping all up on the feed of people doing like what looks to be similar to a rainbow eye look. And with that rainbow eye look, they've been putting like a turquoise or blue star on their inner corners. And people have really been jumping onto this. James Charles, I know, is a big one who did it. It takes a lot of time and effort to do this. I actually haven't even tried it yet because I haven't had the time. And, you know, it takes a lot of skill and technique to be able to perfectly replicate something or as perfectly as possible replicate something so symmetrical on your face. The reason that James Charles is involved in a scandal is because somebody, and I don't remember who, and I might throw these pictures up, I might not, realized that he had mirrored one eye onto the other. And in a way, that means he cheated. Now, he, of course, tried to justify this by saying, well, I did do both eyes, but it looks better in the picture. People were like, no, you're misleading how much skill and talent you have, and you're taking advantage of your platform. And people are like, but he edits his videos all the time and his pictures all the time. It's nothing new, sis. And other people are like, yeah, but there's a difference between saturating the colors and just straight up mimicking parts of your face so that you don't have to put in the work. My thoughts on this are as follows. I don't care. If he wants to misrepresent how his talent is, and I'm not even saying that's how I feel, then let him do it. I had this problem when I was in college where people would try to call out people who copied. I don't understand why society spends so much time worrying about what other people are doing and less about what they're doing. Yeah, I'm sure it sucks to see that somebody like James Charles, yeah, I'm sure it sucks to see somebody like that large is cutting corners when it comes to producing a makeup look that lesser people have to work harder on. But when you work harder on that, isn't the whole point of working hard to be like self-rewarding work? Maybe I'm wrong, but when I work really hard on something, it's not the applause I'm going to get from other people. It's knowing that I achieved that. So the guy who went on a Twitter rant was like, I'm unfollowing you, which you're allowed to unfollow if you want to. I'm unfollowing you because I worked my butt off and I don't get any recognition. Again, similar to the previous story, I feel like the whole thing was like, me. Girl, ain't nobody got time for that, I feel like. Yes, so maybe James should be more upfront in the fact that he did that. He did it again on the thumbnail for that YouTube video I was just talking about, by the way, recreating a fan's look video. He's right, it does make it look more attractive and symmetrical. You can do that if you want to. If you don't want to, that's your prerogative. But don't go around policing other people's work. And if you're going to, maybe just talk crap in your own social circle. I don't know. Maybe that's oversimplifying the matter. I just feel like, personally, people face tuning and photoshopping their pictures has been running rampant for a while. It gets very out of hand. I, for instance, sometimes, not all the time, will Facetune my makeup photos because when I take a picture, the coloration gets a little bit lessened than it is in person, so it's not as intense. Or alternatively, what I do, because my makeup is usually focused on the eyeshadow itself, is that if I didn't have time to conceal all of this area, I will just go in and color correct it so that your eye is just focused on what I actually worked on and not my skin being red. That's okay. If I wanted to Facetune an actual makeup look on myself without doing it, I would say that's okay too. It's not makeup per se, but it is a different kind of artistic skill. Does it sound like I'm just kissing his ass? I don't know. Because I'm really like hit or miss with James. I want to like him, but he makes it very difficult, if that makes any sense. But in this specific scenario, do I think what he's doing is cool and would I do it? No, but I don't care if he does it, and I'm not going to go around screaming to the world about how unjust it is. I mean, cool fish, keep it pushing, as Monique Hart would say. And that's my thoughts on all of that. The moral of today's story is that focus on yourself. All of the time that you devote to your life should be spent on bettering yourself and your placement, or bettering the lives of others, not counting people's purses, trying to stop people's bags, trying to clock people's talent. If you spend as much time as you did harping on these other people's lives, working on your own life, maybe you'd be as successful as you wish that you were. That's just my thoughts about that. So yeah, don't be whiny, focus on yourself, and just lighten up a little. I mean, come on, he didn't murder a family. Or did he? Next video, coming soon. James Charles is a murderer. Just kidding. He's totally not. That was clearly a joke. Hopefully people aren't going to come after me like Shane Dawson and his cat. So with all of that being said, I want to thank you again for taking time out to come hang out with me on my channel. I always love having people here, just like I love talking. But I am now at work, so I do have to wrap this baby up and go do my job. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And yeah, just focus on yourselves. As always, I am Harley Nouveau, and until our stars next in line.